I feel like you were more worried about her finding out about us. Well, you wasn't worried about her when you slept with me.
Yo, I'm gonna play the kit. Obviously, for the I was on TSR, the Shadesroom, and I was I was watching the video, and someone sent me this. Obviously, in terms of Kaya and Darian. Now, first of all, I already knew they slept together. It was evident because of the way that she was putting pressure on him, right? In the earlier episodes, that we knew that he cheated on Alexia. It's that simple. I don't need to see another video. I already knew, right? I didn't think it was an edit. I didn't think it was a cutscene, because Kai's a straight talker. She cuts she cuts through the bull crap. So there'd have been no need for her to kind of say it's something else. They slept together. It's that simple. Now, the question we're asking here today is, did Darian get a pass, or has he violated the terms and conditions? Now, I actually can't remember exactly, but if I remember correctly, I don't know what rules they put on at the very beginning in terms of their dating, right? I'm not saying I agree with anything he's doing, by the way, guys. Like, I'm not saying that, but there could be some leeway here, right? So it may not be cheating. But before we go any further, listen, guys, before we talk any deeper, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification what the uploads. For those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Listen, stay hydrated, because the streets are what? They're hot, okay? Like, they're hot. They're hot. Blood, it is what it is, man. Okay, stay hydrated, okay, guys? All right, before we go anywhere, as well, we've got to kick off a little intro before we get the conversation flowing.
Little black hood, you know what time it is.
I just want to say, listen, this is why I would never be on a show like this, right? You open yourself up to this nonsense, but the truth of the matter is, they would do if they would do this at the show, more than likely they would do this outside of the show. The only thing is this: when it comes to cheating, most people are opportunistic, and there are people who search it out. Opportunistic cheating means people who come along, people who find an opportunity. In a sense, it comes to them, right? So an opportunity might be, had it not been for the show, he might never have met Kai, and he might never have done what he did, right? But if someone's not an opportunistic cheater, it doesn't matter whether they're on the show or not. They will do this, right? Now, this particular show, obviously, they go on dates. That already in itself, I would not do in real life, okay? I wouldn't do that in real life, okay? I wouldn't be allowing anyone to go on dates in real life, okay, with my partner. So already we're doing something completely different. The thing about relationships is there were verbal and non-verbal contracts. There are contracts that we speak out loud and tell people this is my boundary, and there are non-verbal expectations due to social conditioning and social rules that are acceptable and not acceptable. Cheating is one of those non-verbals, right? In a monogamous relationship. The only trouble here is that we've gone on to certain dates with the person, and that already breaks social norm rules. I understand why they're going on these dates. They're learning things about one another. They're learning things about themselves. But already we're doing things that are breaking social norm rules. So now when cheating comes and gets involved, it's a bit of a mad one and a sticky one. In fact, let's play the clip a little.
Devin does not know what he wants. Darian is just confused as a dodo bird. I think Darian needs to put on his big boy pants, be a grown man, and start taking accountability for his own actions. Stop blaming it on everyone else. Stop making an excuse for it, and be a man. Man up.
Like I said, Kai's a straight shooter, so I already know. Listen, you heard it. Straight shooting there. She ain't going to try and mince her words about the sex that they had, right? But she's making a point about him being accountable and being a man. I think it's more, for Darian, I think it really is a case of, you know what it is, opportunity arised. He took advantage of the opportunity. The problem here is a lot of guys, we do this. We want a clean exit. We want to remove ourselves from the game really cleanly. He is having problems removing himself from the game cleanly, right? So we saw that obviously by the fourth date or whatever, when Alexa was putting a bit of pressure on him, he suddenly quit the dating with Kai, right? Why? He's moving like a married husband who cheats on his wife with a mistress, cuts off the mistress and goes back to his wife. The trouble is this: Kai is on the show. Can't dodge her. Can't move away from her. Can't leave her. Kai's doing her job. This is what they call her to do. Now, she might be doing it too well for some people, but she's doing a job. And at the end of the day, she's not in a relationship. He is. Now, someone might say, well, she knew he was in a relationship. Well, if you're in a relationship, I don't see why you're going on dates. Like, we've put ourselves, this is what I'm saying about this show, we've put ourselves in an unnatural position. We're dating other people. In what world would you date other people in a monogamous relationship? We've already put ourselves in danger of this happening, right? And this has happened. Am I giving Kai a free pass? Not necessarily, no. Because at the end of the day, like I said, still there are unwritten rules and the unspoken boundaries, right? That we should honor, and the reason being because it never promotes a healthy relationship. But he has obviously sweetened her up with words and lyrics and them thing there, cuz.
So did you tell her about the times that we spent together?
No, that's not gonna help my situation with her.
Now listen to his wording. That's not going to help my situation with Alexia. This is different from what he was bringing to the table some weeks ago in the show earlier on, right? He was happy to tell her information, happy to tell her about Alexia. He wasn't happy about his relationship, and all of a sudden now he's flipped the script, and now he wants to go back to Alexia. Look at the language he's using. That's not going to help my relationship. That possessiveness coming in my relationship now. Suddenly, okay, he suddenly remembers it's my relationship. And the reason why is because he's trying to protect the relationship now. So he hasn't told Alexia all that he's been doing. All that he's been doing.
So all the things that you were saying to me, that was just what? If you were concerned about my feelings, you would have made a way. When opportunity presented itself.
And this is the truth. No. This is the real truth. Darian didn't know how to tell her. Why? Maybe because he was in two minds. Thinking about not maybe fully cutting off Kai yet, but finding the right time to go back to Kai could have been an option. Number two, it could have been that, you know what, it was just a really sticky conversation, and really he didn't know what he was going to say because, right, he knows he's messed up. He doesn't know what he's going to say to her. And the truth of the matter is, whatever answer is, there's a fear in there as to why he didn't tell her straight away. He waited 10 days. Not because he needed to find the words, but because he needed to find the right words in order to soften the blow. Because he knows he's moved mad with her, and coming back and doing a 360 now, is doing a 180 is difficult.
When you was able to get along by yourself, you made sure you called me so you could cover your ass.
Yep.
Not one time did you ask about my feelings.
If I didn't give a damn about your feelings, I wouldn't have invited you here to get.
I mean, technically, Dr. Nicole's the one that suggested it, Darian. I'm not going to lie to you, because I think you waited 10 days for a reason. You might have waited 20. You might have waited 30. You'd have stuck your head in the sand rather than dealing with the situation, because you know that if you deal with it, what's going to come out is going to be detrimental to your relationship. Like you said, my relationship. If he addressed Kai without the push of Dr. Nicole, it could have blown up in his face, which is already blown up in his face already, but it would have blown up in his face unnecessarily, right? Why deal with something if I don't have to? Especially if it's gonna be to my detriment. Why would I do that to myself? So I get the logic. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I get the logic.
Closure. I wouldn't have called in the first place.
You waited how many days? Darian,
I waited until it was the right time. And I felt like it was the right time at the time.
I don't know what to say. It's peak, bro. It's peak. Like, it's actually peak.
Oh, my head, I wasn't where I'm at now. With her or with myself. Like, I wasn't mentally where I'm at now. And I feel like it's only right to.
So he's talking about being mentally in the right space now with Alexia, and Alexia now showing him signs that he wanted what he wants. But the trouble is, he's eaten cake. He didn't leave it there. He ate cake. And that's the problem. The problem isn't that, he doesn't want to be with Kai anymore or talk to Kai anymore. Problem is he ate cake and thinks he can leave the place without finishing the cake. Sir, once you started, you're going to have to finish. And you want to return back to Alexia. But the trouble is, you've already done the deed. And you're going to have to address the consequences that come with doing the deed. Right? And the repair you're going to have to do with Alexia is going to be mad. Because what she's going to say is, I knew this was coming. That's why I didn't want you to be on a fourth date. But the trouble is, I heard Kai in another video earlier on saying about how LaRonda shouldn't have stopped herself from going on another date with Sir James because of Sean. Well, why did you want your boy Darian to not go on a date with a Kai because of you? Right? You basically said, you're going to do what you're going to do. I'm going to make sure I'm going to react to what you're doing. You basically did that, sis. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I hear what you're saying, but you basically did that.
Let you know what's up, face to face.
I feel like you were more worried about her finding out about us. Well, you wasn't worried about her when you slept with me.
Yo, I'm not going to lie to you. Darian's finishes me. When he goes, Hey, if there's one thing that Darian's gonna give you, it is humor, bruv. This guy said, said, you wouldn't do that when you were slept with me. My oh my. I mean, listen, did he cheat? I mean, again, it depends on what rules they established in their relationship, but there are unspoken rules. When you break those lines, you can cause damage in your relationship. You're gonna have to own that. But it's very similar to the Ashley and Hollywood situation when last season, about these unspoken rules. If you don't verbalize these things, especially when you're on a dating show like this where you're breaking social norms and rules, you need to verbalize this. I'm just going to be honest with you. You're going to have to verbalize it, right? But remember, they asked them questions about what their limitations were for the dates. That was a point to verbalize it in terms of what they expect as a process going forward. So I'm not going to. Am I going to say he cheated? Yeah, I think he did cheat. But do I think he slept with her? Absolutely. And do I think it's a violation of his relationship? Absolutely. But again, there are some great areas in this. If it wasn't discussed, if it wasn't communicated, then there can be wiggle room to kind of negotiate whether he did this or not. I personally would be absolutely freaking vexed if I was dating a girl and she did this to me and had a similar setup to what Darian and Alexia did. But hey ho, listen, I won't be waiting 14 months. There's no shade. This is really is. I just won't be waiting 14 years to see if I want to marry or not. It just wouldn't be my MO. It wouldn't be my kind of thing. So yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts down below. Do you think he cheated or did he get a pass? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they are on a dating show, which is awkward, and it is breaking social norms and rules. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded, baby.
Little black, you know what time it is.